10 cheapest international trips from India. When you think international destinations, do you immediately start wondering how much you'll have to save to get there? Fret no more, dear Indian traveler. The good news is that there are plenty of cheap international destinations you can visit without paying through your nose. Here are the top picks for cheap international trips from India. Number 1. Colombo, Sri Lanka. Most people briefly stop in Colombo before heading to the gorgeous beaches on the western coast of Sri Lanka. But if all you have is a few days off and you want to get out of the country, head to Colombo and give it a chance. Visit the Gangaramaya temple and other nearby Buddhist temples for a spiritual experience. Walk around in the Colombo fort area, where every building has a rich history and so many tales to tell. Bargain to your heart's content at Petamarket, Colombo's huge open market, where you will find everything from fruits to jewelry. Savor delicious Sri Lankan food, especially if you like seafood. But vegetarians, don't worry, there's plenty for you too in one of the best cheap international trips from India. Number 2. Krabi, Thailand. Krabi is one of those cheap international trips about which you can safely say, the pictures weren't photoshopped. The white beaches, blue waters and coral reefs are actually that lovely. Scuba diving enthusiasts can have a whale of a time here, while there's plenty of exotic flora and fauna in the tropical forests, if you're up for some exploring. Of course, for the beach bums, this is paradise. Lounge as you sip your minty cocktails. Number 3. Kathmandu, Nepal. Very often, we forget about our immediate neighbors and tend to focus on faraway cheap abroad trips. Just across the border and a very cheap flight away from New Delhi sits Kathmandu, with promises of mountains and spirituality. Apart from being a gateway to the Himalayas for mountaineering enthusiasts, a trip to Kathmandu is a nice blend of the old and the new, the modern and the traditional. Durbar Square is our UNESCO World Heritage Site and has several palaces and temples within the complex waiting to be explored. The Themal area has tons of shops selling everything from mountaineering gear to souvenirs. The Pashupatinath Temple is the city's oldest Hindu temple, while the Bodhnath Stupa is one of the oldest Buddhist temples in the world. Number 4. Singapore. Yet another ideal destination when you have limited time and a tight budget is Singapore. The glitzy city has much more than the fashion labels at Orchard Street. Soak in the culture at Chinatown Heritage Center or take a cruise on the Singapore River. Visit the Singapore Zoo, which is one of the best in Asia, and also make sure you don't miss the night safari. Spend an evening at the Marina Bay area. Explore the many dining options by the river at Clark Way. Plan your trip early for cheap flight tickets and book your hotel in advance too, and make Singapore on top of your list of cheap international trips from India. Number 5. Malacca, Malaysia. We've all heard of Kuala Lumpur, but how many of us have really given thought to Malacca? With its Portuguese influence clearly visible in the buildings and streets, Malacca is truly one of the top cheap international trips from India, and a city that is brimming with history. Junker Street is a great place to stumble upon antiques and other collectibles. With its myriad colors, Malacca is a photographer's delight too. Get here by road after a cheap flight to the country's capital, Kuala Lumpur. It'll just take you about an hour and a half. Number 6. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Surprised that it made our list of the best cheap international trips from India? Guess what? It takes a while for an outsider to look beyond the layers of glamour that Dubai seems to have become synonymous with. But when you do, you'll notice that there is so much you can do in this incredible city. A long walk around the old Bastakia district is a must-do for history buffs. Whether or not you want to make a purchase, you must definitely visit the Derek Old Souk just for the experience. Get away from the traffic and crowds and take a desert safari and do some dune bashing. Or just be a tourist and visit the Burj Khalifa. Number 7. Bangkok, Thailand. How many of you have asked friends to purchase electronic goods or branded accessories from Bangkok? Why not head there and buy them for yourself? Because if you plan reasonably well in advance, tickets to Bangkok are pretty cheap from Mumbai, New Delhi or any other major Indian city. And Bangkok is not just a retail therapy haven, but it is also full of beautiful Buddhist temples, lip-smackingly delicious street food and lovely floating markets. Number 8. Bali, Indonesia. Rice plantations so green that you wonder if nature has some kind of Photoshop. Intricately sculpted temples, blue-green seas and sandy beaches, these are just a few things from the mixed goodie bag that is Bali. Experience a little of everything when you're on this beautiful foreign trip. Laze on the glorious beaches of Seminyak and Nusa Dua. Visit the crafts villages in Ubud and the surrounding villages. Water sports enthusiasts have tons of options to go surfing or diving. If you're feeling more adventurous, trek up Mount Batur, one of Bali's active volcanoes. After your trek, treat those sore muscles to a relaxing Balinese massage. Number 9. Maldives. The Maldives, with its turquoise waters, colorful sea life and exotic spas, has in recent years been wooing the Indian traveler like never before. The capital of the Maldives, is located in the North Malé Atoll and is connected by air to major Indian cities. The underwater life in the sea lends a whole new meaning to the term colorful, and scuba diving enthusiasts are set to have a highly memorable experience. After a few days in the capital, head out to explore another inhabited island to get a true taste of the culture in this beautiful country. And yes, despite its majestic and otherworldly feel, it's amazingly one of the cheap international trips from India. Number 10. Phuket, Thailand. Yes, Thailand features again in our list of cheap international trips from India. That's how budget-friendly it is. The world first noticed Phuket after the 1974 James Bond flick The Man with the Golden Gun was shot there. And it continues to attract travelers with its sandy beaches, clear waters and vibrant nightlife. Whether you are looking to have a quiet time by the beach or party hard, Phuket is a great option.